does Resource Center really mean?
We're an insurance and financial services company in South Springfield, and 20 years is our anniversary next year. The company has evolved into what it is today, which was a vision of having a one-stop shop.
You hire the best of the best.
Yes, we do. Everybody here to me is family.
Our guiding principles are:
be kind,
speak honestly,
make it simple,
act fairly,
put people over profits. Simple solutions.
Good morning, Rogersville. Welcome to another week
Glad to be here.
in the best place to live on earth.
No
right
doubt.
here in Rogersville, Missouri. So we're thrilled to be
Absolutely.
here. Bruce, good to have you back.
Yeah.
We've taken a
Here.
week or two off here and there, but
Yeah. Just, life happens, you get busy and things pop up and
yep.
berms happen.
Big storms happen last night, I guess. You said you had a little trouble because we're running about 45 minutes late today. You had a
Let's
little difficulty
see.
getting here.
Yeah. A couple of trees down off on 186. And nothing major, just more curiosity than anything, just seeing how big the trees were.
Yeah, well, that's all right. But I know cryptocurrency has taken off the last week or so.
Yeah.
Some of my sell trigger points hit.
Yeah.
So that's been fun. But
Yeah, it's been going up. No one knows why, but it is going up.
well, the interesting thing is because China's shutting it down and it's going up anyway. It's Bitcoin is approaching some all-time highs because it's around 57 and I think it topped out around 62. So
Right.
good stuff there. But William Shatner going to space.
Yeah, again.
Well, for the first time, legit.
Hey, I've watched it. I was
You
a
saw it.
diehard Star Trek
He's,
guy.
he's returning to space.
Yeah,
Okay.
That'll
go
be
with,
fun.
We'll go with that. We'll be fun. What else is going on?
they'll get a lot of mileage out of that for
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, you bet. Sure they will.
So we lost 9 pots this morning. The wind blew them, rolled them. 3 cracked. 3 are okay, and 3 of them are pretty much total.
Mm.
So that's the storm. When you live on a top of a hill and there's a lot of wind, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me about Saturday. Was that good or
Yeah,
what?
Saturday was amazing. The Farm and Harvest Festival or
Yeah.
Harvest Festival here in Rogersville. We had a great time. Tons of people there. Extremely well attended. Entertainment was awesome. A lot of great live acts were there. A whole bunch of vendors, the regulars that you're used to seeing at our monthly farmers market that we've been having here in Rogersville. Henderson Baptist Church was out there, and they had some good activities for the kids, bow and arrows and hatchet making, tomahawk making. So the kids could make their own tomahawks. We had Bill Green, our local blacksmith, was out there doing that, and then they could shoot bow and arrows. So, good, clean family fun.
I heard the
with
meat
weapons
and the sliders were to die for.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because that was our little project out there. Phil and I, we kind of kicked off our new show. We're going to be rolling out here on K-ROG some called The Smoke Show. We both love to cook meat, love to get the grills out, the smokers out, and we love using the best meat we can find. And we were fortunate to be able to have Valley Mountain Quality Meats providing all of our meat Saturday from right here in Rogersville. And they are truly a hidden gem right now. If you're listening and you haven't experienced Valley Mountain Quality Meats, they are south of the Dog Bone, right here in Rogersville. So that's south of the. We got good at this Saturday, telling people where they were at. South of the car wash, west of Cozumel, north of Seymour Bank, and east of the OG barbershop. So they're right here in Rogersville, and it is the best meat. And it actually takes me a while to explain to people because you have to understand meat grades, meat origins,
Makes a huge
and all that to understand why
huge difference.
you're actually getting the best meat you can get. So when you're wanting to get good meat, fresh is better than frozen. They have fresh or frozen there. But if you want fresh meat, it's got to be coming. I mean, you don't want fresh meat coming from Mexico because it takes it a while to get here.
Right.
So this meat is born and raised in Webster County, processed locally, and sold right here. And it's all prime beef. And so there's 4 different USDA grades, or might be 5, but there's 4. There's can't remember what the bottom fourth one is, but there's select. And so if you're buying meat at a grocery store and it doesn't really have a grade, you're probably getting select. It's really not very good meat. It's okay. If you're buying what you're normally buying, the best meat you can buy at a normal grocery store is going to be choice. And so if you go and you're buying choice meat, USDA choice, you see that all the time, that's pretty good. You're getting that from the grocery store. This is prime. Prime is the highest grade of beef you can get. Normally, you only can get it's normally only sold to high-end restaurants, hotels, and things like that. But you're buying prime beef right here, raised in Rogersville or raised in Webster County. I think it's actually over near Marshfield. Prime quality beef right here in Rogersville, and you can buy it fresh cut. Jason, the butcher's in there, and we got to cook it up on Saturday.
It's worth the drive.
It is, and I keep telling them, and everybody gets mad at me for telling them this, but their prices are too low, and they need to raise their prices because you can buy their prime beef right here in Rogersville for what you're buying choice in Springfield, and right. I don't know. Maybe they'll catch up.
So if you're in Springfield, it's worth the drive because the meat is incredible.
Yeah, it really is, and
good people too.
Oh yeah, great people. The people working in there. They're the Jernigans. You know, Terry was our upper elementary principal here, and her kids and her husband, and they're all in the store. Morgan's in there every day. She was helping us out. Terry's usually in there. I see Mark. I see Garrett when I go in there. So local folks running the store. So absolutely worth the trip. But no, Saturday was great. The weather was fantastic. They did pumpkin chunking. We had the critters from Creedstown Ranch were out there, petting zoo, llamas and all that stuff. It was just great little Rogersville activity. Absolutely. Emma, the unique flower farmer, was there. The 4-H bunch, we were there. It was cool. It was a good day.
Yeah,
it was a really good day.
Good. Hey, today we're going to be discussing all the volatility that's out here in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. And if you are older and still working, what to do about required minimum distributions when the time comes.
Sounds good.
So you know what? Volatility right now is at, I would say, in our lifetime, an all-time high. Mm. I mean, no, it's so unpredictable what's going to happen with not only the government and the resources that they have and how they're utilizing them, but what's going to happen with legislation surrounding our lives, our financial lives, our savings, our money, our retirement accounts, things like that. And here's what I tell people quite often. Don't worry about what you can't control. All we can do is vote. All we can do is get out and go earn a living and be more disciplined about how we're putting our money away. You know, my dad told me one time, give the Lord 10%, give yourself 10%, and spend 80%, and you'll be wealthy. I wished I would have remembered to follow that. It was later in life that I started doing that. And so, you know, when you think about it, the financial resources that are, or financial abilities that people have, we earn a living. Just be willing to put a dime away and give the Lord a dime, and you're going to be perfectly fine. If you're not doing that, I would encourage you to do that. Now, later in life, and I've had questions pop up lately about, I'm above required minimum distribution age. I'm still working. So can I take an RMD out of just my account I've got on my own, or what can I do? You know, so there's a really good rule to follow. Treat your IRAs separately. If you have IRA accounts outside of your employer, you can lump those together and you can take one distribution. You cannot include the existing 401k or 403b or whatever you have. You can't include that in that. That has to be taken separately. So be sure and always contact a professional or ask questions. We encourage people to ask. And at least if we don't know the answer, we got the ability to look it up and try to figure it out with you.
All right, that was a lot of great information, but my takeaway from that, correct me if I'm wrong, is you're going to have to take out of some account somewhere the required minimum distribution so the government gets their taxes.
Yeah, it's subject to taxation. Now, don't fear. If you're a lot of folks retired on Social Security, don't have a lot of taxable income, currently your standard deduction may offset quite a bit of your tax liability. You may be able to take an RMD or a distribution out of your IRA, and it's subject to tax, but it may not be taxed depending on your situation. So,
Okay.
don't think that, I've got to take my required distribution out and I'm going to lose a fortune. You may not. It depends on your tax situation, where you're at, and what your other taxable income is. And of course, if you ever have a tax question, call your tax advisor or CPA. If you call us and it's a tax question, we're going to call our tax people,
right,
and we're going to get you an answer.
Well, and then, if you are working and producing income that you're using to support your lifestyle, and you're taking those RMDs that you don't really need, that's actually a good opportunity to start transferring some of that money into an irrevocable trust, yeah, and protect it from the potential of loss to long-term care at some point in the future.
That's exactly right. Just last week, we had a case, that exact scenario. We are taking distribution out that we don't need. It's non-qualified at that point. We are funding an irrevocable asset protection trust for the reason of later in life, they may need funds, but at least if they go to care, it's protected.
It's going to be protected.
And their kids are not going to have a chargeback or a recovery at their death at the end. And it's more of a pure inheritance, not subject to, recovery, Medicaid recovery. Yep. People forget about Medicaid recovery.
Yep. And if you want to know more about that, you can come and see us tomorrow night, if we still have seats left.
Let's see. Tuesday, Wednesday, tomorrow night at 6, Wednesday at 2. And then I believe next week, yep, Tuesday and Wednesday, yep, 6 and 2 also. 882-1800, check with the office. If we have availability, you're welcome to come. It's a really good time.
A free event. Yeah.
It's a free event. Don't come hungry.
We can't feed with the COVID restrictions. We
right.
Can't feed you anymore.
It's our adult education. This is all about keeping people informed, and it's sharing knowledge with people with no obligation. So you can come to our events, which people do, and they learn and they ask questions.
Hey,
and they can get a good understanding.
And I'll say this: it's 10 times better if you can be there in person. But if you just if you're not getting out, if you're just like, I'm not going to events, we have a Zoom option. You can watch the presentation via Zoom, and then we can follow up with you by phone later. So
you just got to let us know ahead of time.
You just got to let us know ahead of time, and we'll set up the Zoom portal. We've done that for some folks in the past. We're happy to do that for you again in the future. Well, thanks for joining us, Bruce. Appreciate you being here again.
It's good. Come to the workshop.
Yep.
Good time.
And
look forward to
stay safe,
everybody.
Rogersville. We're going to have a good time. See you soon.
Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC. AE Wealth Management and the Resource Center, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet a particular need of an individual situation. The Resource Center, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this podcast shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein, provided by third parties, have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by the Resource Center, Inc. This podcast is a paid placement.